All right, shalom. I want to give all honors and glory to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, and double honors to the apostles and elders, and honors to the rest of the brothers that's pushing His word in sincerity and truth all over the world. I have some news and prophecy um, up once again pertaining to, as you can see from the article I have up here. This is from NBC News. It's entitled "Worldwide Surge in Great Earthquakes Seen in Past 10 Years." Okay, um, and according to prophecy, as Yahweh Shai has said, he said that before he returns, there were going to be earthquakes in diverse places, in different places all over the earth. Okay, um, and we're seeing that being manifested in the earth today. Okay, and according to this article, that prophecy that the Lord has spoken is showing itself to be true. Okay, so it says worldwide surge and great earthquake seen in past 10 years. All right. It says the annual number of great earthquakes nearly tripled over the last decade, providing a reminder to Americans that unruptured faults like those in the northwest United States might be due for a big one. It says between 2004 and 2014, 18 earthquakes with magnitudes of 8.0 or more. For example, the Haiti earthquake, I believe that was like a 8.0. All right. It says with magnitudes of 8.0 or more rattled subduction zones around the globe. All right. So all over the place, diverse places. Okay, in different places all over the earth. Okay, so around the globe. It says that's an increase of 265% over the average rate of the previous century. All right, which saw 71 great quakes, according to a report to the annual meeting of the Geological Society of America this week in Vancouver, British Columbia. So from the previous century to now, all right, it's 2014. There's been an increase of 265% of great quakes, great earthquakes. Okay, so and like the scriptures say, when we're coming to the time of the end, all right, like a woman in travail, because when a woman is ready to give birth, she gets more and more contractions, and the time that she's having those contractions get closer and closer. Well, that's how these earthquakes work. As we're getting closer and closer to the end, before Yahweh Shah returns and delivers the elect to Israel, we're seeing more and more quakes happen um, um, closer together, okay, so to speak. Like a woman would be having contractions. So as time goes on, we're seeing more and more quakes happen um, um, at a quicker rate. Okay, it says it is clear that recent great earthquakes triggered related major quakes, said study author Thorne Lay, distinguished professor of Earth and Planetary Sciences at the University of California, Santa Cruz. It says if we look at all earthquake magnitudes, the past 10 years is not unusual in terms of the rate of events. The rate increases are just seen for events with magnitudes larger than 7.5 or so. And that's just Esau trying to make it logical, but that's not true. All right, even these lower magnitude earthquakes are increasing. All right, and I'm gonna show that too. Um, it says a magnitude larger than 7.5 or so, he said. This suggests that great events were catching up on the plate boundary motions in several regions with fortuitous similar timing. And by fortuitous, Lay means that he thinks it's just coincidence that all those big earthquakes happened over the last 10 years. Well, we're going to see about that. Is it coincidence or is it prophecy? Because this white man, all right, these Edomites, they don't know what's going on, man. They try to make everything logical and try to make everything scientific, as if they think that um, it's just something that the earth does. But no, okay, the Most High is orchestrating these things in the earth. Okay, so first scripture I'm gonna get is Isaiah 29:6. It says, "Thou shalt be visited of the Lord of hosts," which we know is Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, "with thunder and with earthquake. and great noise with storm and tempest and the flame of devouring fire. So the Most High is the one that's causing these earthquakes to come to pass. Okay, He's the one bringing these earthquakes upon the earth. Okay, that's the Lord visiting the earth by His power, by causing these things to happen. Okay, um, so I have another article which pertains to um, these earthquakes. Now this is from October 17th, 2014. It says 4.0 magnitude earthquake in Tacna. All right, and it shows the map here. This is actually in Peru. Okay, it says a mild rumbling occurred in the early morning hours Friday. All right, it says with the majority of Tacna residents, um, it says while the majority of Tacna residents remained under a spell of slumber at 4:49 a.m., a mild earthquake paid a visit. Registering a 4.0 magnitude on the Richter scale, the Friday morning earthquake did not cause any damage or injury. According to Peru's Geophysical Institute, the epicenter was located 60 kilometers west of Tacna City. It had a depth of 46 kilometers. Tacna, which means a place to hit in Quechua, okay, is the southernmost region of Peru. Yeah, a place for the Most High to hit the with earthquakes. And it's Israelites, okay, that live in Peru, Bolivia, all right, in Central America, which would pertain to the tribe of Zebulon, all right. So the Most High is visiting the earth, and most of these earthquakes happen in places like Central America, South America, um, certain islands in the Atlantic and Pacific, but they're also in America too. Now, the most largest earthquake recently, okay, was this is another article from NBC News. All right, it says 7.3 magnitude earthquake strikes off El Salvador coast. It says a 7.3 magnitude earthquake struck off the southern coast of El Salvador late Monday, according to the USGS. All right, now I believe this was right. Okay, this is from October 14th, 2014, 12:41 a.m. All right, so this is within the last 2 weeks. Okay, it says a 7.3 magnitude earthquake struck off the sudden. Now this is what will be one of going up in magnitude. This is one of the big earthquakes, the great earthquakes. All right, the 4.0 is what they would call a small or a minor quake, but this is going up on the magnitude scale. Okay, so we're seeing different sizes and different magnitudes of earthquakes playing out all over the earth, according to prophecy. All right. Um, a 7.3 magnitude earthquake struck off the southern coast of El Salvador late Monday, according to the USGS. The quake was centered about 40 miles to the south of the small coastal town of Intapuca, at a depth of about 14 miles. The National Weather Service Pacific Tsunami Warning Center initially said that dangerous tsunami waves were possible within about 185 miles of the epicenter along the coast of Nicaragua, Honduras, and El Salvador, but said the threat had mostly passed about an hour after the quake was first detected. Now, with a magnitude earthquake like that, all right, once you get around 7.0, that's when you get into tsunami territory. Well, that's what happened with Japan. The tsunami in Japan, which I believe that was like 2011, all right, maybe 2010. When when that tsunami happened in Japan, it was actually an earthquake that happened first. Okay, when you read the reports, and then that caused a tsunami that hit Japan and destroyed that nuclear reactor over there. Okay, but that's part of the prophecies. Okay, that's a part of the scriptures. All right. It says the quake was strong enough to cause severe shaking felt by an estimated 1.3 million people, according to the USGS pager system, which predicted the quake to cause anywhere from 1 to 100 fatalities. So this was a major earthquake, and I didn't hear about this on the local news. I didn't hear about it on CNN or Fox. You have to look these things up yourself, man, and look for these different signs that take place. All right, alternative media and other news stations. Okay, all right. Um, but it shows a map here, and it actually shows you how that magnitude from the epicenter affected all these different countries here. All right. It says major earthquake epicenter 40 miles south of the coast of El Salvador. All right, and that's like one, two, three, four, five, 5 or 6 countries felt this earthquake, man. All right, and you can see here it hit in 2 different places. So really, it was 2 earthquakes. It wasn't one. Esau likes to call them tremors and aftershocks and trembles. These were these are like epicenters right here. So it's actually 2 earthquakes. You had one here, and you had one here that reached all these different countries. Okay, so we are definitely in that time of the Lord visiting the earth. All right. Another scripture. This is uh the book of Luke. This is Luke chapter 21 and 6. It says, as for these things, now this is going into uh, Yahweh Shai speaking about the end times or the things that will happen, the signs and prophecies that will come to pass before he returned. He was telling his disciples about these, all right? So it says, as for these things which ye behold, the days will come, in the which there shall not be left one stone upon another that shall not be thrown down. And that happened to the temple. And to this day, the temple that was rebuilt for the second time in Jerusalem is not there anymore. Okay? Verse 7. And they asked him, saying, Master, but when shall these things be, and what sign will there be when these things shall come to pass? And he said, take heed that ye be not deceived, for many shall come in my name, saying, I am the anointed. All right, which says Christ, but Christ is Greek for the anointed. All right, it says, I am the anointed, and the time draweth near. Go ye not therefore after them. So don't go after these false prophets, but go after one that's actually telling you the truth. All right. But when you shall hear of wars and commotions, be not terrified, for these things must first come to pass, but the end is not by and by. Then said he unto them, nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. And these prophecies have already come to pass, and we're already in them. All right, the wars, the nation against nations, race wars, the different kingdom against kingdoms. This you got the BRICS forming with Brazil, India, Russia, China, South Africa. All right, and then you got the Western nations, the NATO, the EU, and America. That's kingdom against kingdom because now they're clashing. Right now they're clashing with oil, with the Ukraine situation, but soon it's going to be war, World War III. Okay, verse 11. And great earthquakes shall be in diverse places, and that's the main topic that I'm going into now about these different earthquakes. It says in famines and pestilences. All right, and the major pestilence we're dealing with now is the Ebola, which is becoming a worldwide pandemic. So the words that the prophets, the words that Yahweh Shai spoke in the scriptures and the Holy Bible, the word of the Lord, Yahweh Shai, is true, man. Okay, and that's the things that we must be on the lookout for. All right. It says, and fearful sights and great signs shall there be from heaven. Okay, we're coming to that time now. There was now this year starting in April, there was the signs of the blood moons in the heavens. Okay, all right, which one was April 15th, and we just had one recently. I believe was October 8th, and that's one of the different great signs from heaven, the fearful sights. All right, so we're in the time of prophecy, man. Okay, and there's supposed to be another prophecy. Okay, which I'm gonna read that scripture of not only did the moon turn to blood twice this year, 2014, but there's also supposed to be coming in December where the sun is supposed to be darkened for 6 days. All right, a little over 2,000 hours. All right, which is going to greatly affect the earth. I don't know how much. I don't know exactly uh, if it would take place for that long. All right, but the prophecy does say that that will happen, and that's something that the apostles brought out. And I'm gonna read the prophecy pertaining to it. So this is Revelation 6:12. And I beheld when he had opened the sixth seal, and lo, there was a great earthquake, and the sun became black as sackcloth of hair, which NASA says there's supposed to be a like I said, an upcoming event with the sun, to where it's going to be total darkness for 6 days. Okay, the sun is supposed to be darkened for 6 days, and that's pertaining to the scriptures that I'm reading here in Revelation. All right, it says, and the moon became as blood, and the moon did turn a blood red color twice this year. One was April 15th, one was October 8th. Okay, and there's two more to come. So it's like I said, as time goes on, these prophecies will become to manifest themselves more and more. All right. Um, Now Esau had mentioned in the first article about how matter of fact, I'll just get it real quick. Um, It says here, it says, if we look at all earthquake magnitudes, the past 10 years is not unusual in terms of the rate of events. The rate increases are just seen for events with magnitudes larger than 7.5 or so, he said. Well, these these instances and these earthquakes happening is not just for those larger than 7.5, it's for some smaller ones too, and I'm gonna prove it. Okay, now this is just for one day. All right, now this is from Volcano Discovery website. It says earthquakes archive worldwide. This is earthquake list for Monday the 20th, October 2014. All right. Um, it says only magnitude 2.5, 146 quakes just for Monday 20, for October 20, 2014, that Monday. Okay, and it was actually updated Monday the 27th. All right, so this past Monday. I'll put the link to the articles in the description when I post the video. But these earthquakes, it was 146 earthquakes alone in different places of the earth. Um, and if you read it here in the blue, it says I felt it. All right. So this is, you got one from about 2.8 in New Zealand, 2.6 in Kansas, 3.2 in Argentina. Uh, Scroll down. You had a 2.9 in San Juan, Argentina. You had a 4.4 in Colombia, the Ecuador. Just gonna be scrolling down. Um, uh, let's see. You had a 4.0. You had you had a 2.5 in Cushing, Oklahoma. You had a 3.0 in Helena, Oklahoma. All right. So even in the U.S., we're getting these earthquakes. All right. So this just proves Esau and the journalists wrong, man. Okay. You had a 4.8 in Malay, Chile. You had a 4.8 in Central Chile. All right. You had a 2.6 in Culebra, Puerto Rico. Okay. So even these so-called smaller earthquakes, ones around the 2.0s and up, there there was over. I mean, it was over 146 of them for one day. All right. So that just goes to show the times we living in. All right. One more article. This is from Tulsa World News. It says two Oklahoma earthquakes recorded today. Nine recorded Wednesday, and this is from posted Thursday, October 23rd, 2014, 10:28 a.m. So this was a week ago. Okay. So, and I mentioned this before when I was out on the street, how you had multiple earthquakes happen in one day in Oklahoma. Okay. All right. So it says the U.S. Geological Survey recorded two Oklahoma earthquakes today, which was a week ago, October 23rd. Um, and 9 Oklahoma earthquakes on Wednesday. At 1:06 a.m., a 2.7 magnitude quake recorded about 14 miles west northwest of Pawnee. Then at 2:06 a.m., a 3.0 magnitude quake recorded about 10 miles south of Medford. The largest of the 9 Oklahoma earthquakes recorded Wednesday was a 3.5 magnitude quake recorded 10:58 a.m. about 9 miles east northeast of Moreland. During the past 7 days, the USGS recorded 45 Oklahoma earthquakes. So that's 45 earthquakes in a week, man. All right. Which, if you pay attention to the USGS and how they um record the quakes, there's different quakes happening all the time, damn near every minute, all over the world. But these are just some examples of showing you how um, the prophecies of the scriptures are taking place and coming to pass. It says during the past 30 days, the USGS recorded 133 Oklahoma earthquakes. It says the largest during that time frame was a 4.3 magnitude quake, October 10th near Cushing, Cushing, Oklahoma, according to the USGS, which is the U.S. Geological Survey. All right. So these different things are coming to pass now. All right. So we have to be on the lookout. Like I said, you got the pestilence. The Ebola is still affecting different people in different places all over the world now, especially here in America. You got these earthquakes; they're happening. Okay. And the first article it mentioned about there may be a big earthquake in America. Okay, it says the annual number of great earthquakes nearly tripled over the last decade, providing a reminder to Americans that unruptured faults like those in the Northwest United States might be due for a big one. And according to the scriptures, the Lord visits the earth with earthquakes, so there could be a big one in America. All right. So with that, I'm just gonna say all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh Basham Shai. Um, and you know, we're at the end now. Okay, there's no denying it. You can't say, well, no, it's just a coincidence. All right. I mean, if you're gonna think like Esau and these white people, fine. All right, but in that day, you're gonna be found out to be a fool, man. Okay, you're gonna be a fool. So we're in the time of the end. The scriptures are manifesting His prophecies every day. The Lord is visiting the earth now. Okay, so and we're in the time of judgment. All right, so let's continue to be on our P's and Q's and stay strong in His truth. All right, and that's to the elect. So with that, I'm gonna end it there. And Lord willing, I see you on the next news and prophecy. And I'm gonna say shalom.